So I've got the VXR 28 inch. First things first, a lot of guys keep saying that this is great for the tree stand. It's made for the tree stand. That's fine, but if you've shot the triax and you actually shot the bow, like if you shoot as much as I do or other archers who like to practice or like to shoot during the week, you can shoot this just as good as if you were to get a 31 inch axle to axle or 36, 35, whatever you're shooting. I took this out. I've shot this like twice since I bought it. It's super light, which was perfect for what I was wanting in an upgrade, because I had the triax. I had a big sidebar that I had kickbacks. It felt kind of top heavy, so it weighted it out perfectly. So I just shot flat. There was no vibration from what I felt in the triax. This is way lighter. I feel like I can even actually shoot this more accurate than I could my triax. I sold my stabilizer because with this bow I don't need it. People are putting stabilizers on this and it's unneeded weight. But I've got this in the Optifade Elevated 2, which is freaking, I think, a sick choice. Everyone's changing up the limbs with the riser and however they want it. That's awesome. I had my triax was all stone, so I wanted to change it back to camo this year with the VXR. But this is the other thing. I decided to go with a 4 arrow quiver this year. Last year it was 6, and when I was hunting elk, you know, I'd put on 12 miles a day, but I kept finding myself going through some thick stuff, and out of the 6, it was pulling arrows out, so I'd be losing arrows during my hikes. So I was losing arrows, losing money, right? So I decided to go with the 4 arrow quiver this year, which it's way lighter even by changing to a 4 arrow quiver from the 6. And that's the quick release. It's seconds, very convenient, especially if you shoot a lot. You can take this off if you got the arrows in from shooting, put it in your case, put it away, super easy. I'm using a black gold slider, 5 pin. My pins are 0.10, super tiny pins, so I can see further. Kind of opens up the side a little for me. I don't like single pin. To me, it doesn't feel right to do single pin. I know it's opposite for people who like the single pin. They can't have more than 1 pin or 3. They can't see enough, or their focus isn't enough just in that housing, in the sight housing. So I like 5 pins because I don't have to move it unless I'm shooting farther than 60 yards. But all in all, I would highly recommend, and I know there's lots of hype on this bow. One thing I did notice while I was getting this put together, someone before me was getting the Hoyt, what's the new Hoyt? The Hoyt 4? The Hoyt, God, what is their bow? Anyway, the brand new Hoyt that came out, the guy was getting his paper tuned. It literally, I don't know if it just takes a lot of tuning. It took about 12 shots to finally get it shooting through paper how it should. You put my rest on. This was the rest I used on my last bow. I just figured I'd keep it, why not? And he shot 6 shots and it was paper tuned. Perfect bullet holes. So I don't know. It's really easy to get this set up. Again, what I was going on the tangent of the 28 inch, not getting enough credit, I think, just because it's a tree stand bow. I'm gonna push that aside. I'm shooting this out to 90 yards, and where I'm aiming, we're talking maybe a 2 inch difference to the right or left, depending on where I'm putting the pressure on the bow when I've got it drawn back. I have the 75 pound mods right now, and when they did my sight tape, it was actually pulling 83 pounds. Clearly after string stretch, I'll be right at 75. Typically that's how it works. After you put 200 shots through, your string will start to stretch, and you may have to go get a retune. That's on all bows though. But I wanted the 75 pound mods to start with because I know by the time the string stretch happens, it will be 275, maybe a little less, but I know I'm going to be above 70. People say, oh, my bow's 70, I'm shooting 70 pounds. That's not accurate. Because after string stretch, you're probably going to be at 65 if you're starting at 70, which is enough to kill deer. That's not an issue, but no, all in all, it's a great bow. Again, this is light, it's so light. So if you are one to go on high adventure hiking for elk or mule deer up in the high Uintas, high mountain ranges, or goats, or whatever you're hunting, this is a really great bow. It's super light, and again, it is as accurate as a longer axle bow. It depends on how much you shoot, hands down. But I love it. I'm probably gonna hold on to this for the next 2 or 3 years unless they come out with something crazy bigger than this. But I would highly recommend it, especially if you're looking to upgrade. If you're debating on even switching up the bow you have now, even if you're a bow or two behind the Triax, go with the Triax. Shoot that this year and then bump up from there next year if you want to upgrade even further. They're both really good bows, especially, I mean, there is no shock in this bow. They moved, as you know in the other videos, they moved this dampener from point A to point B from the Triax. They've added this, but I kid you not, it is so smooth and so quiet, you will not be disappointed. And it's $1,000. For a lot, that's expensive, but I know a lot of other bows that cost 16 to $2,000 a bow. So for the price point, it's 100% worth it. Good luck this year. Hopefully you make the decision to go with a Mathews. If you're unsure, just go shoot it at the range. They'll let you shoot these bows. They want you to shoot them so that you can feel the difference, feel what they're selling. I did that, and immediately I just asked when it'll be available. So I bought mine as soon as they had them in the store. I went and picked it up, and then right after that I went and sighted it in from 20 to 60 on my slider, and then got a sight tape, and I'm sighted in all the way up to 100. So I mean, be ethical. You of course want to get as close to the animals as possible, but Western hunters seem to take further shots because of the different terrain we're hunting on. It's hard to get close sometimes, and you want to be prepared to be able to take a further shot, but an accurate shot. So this would be one I'd go with. 31 inches, 28 inches, it doesn't matter. This is kind of a side deal, but I made my own sling. People say you're crazy for putting that on your bow. I don't know why, because there's little magnets on it. You can magnetize it to the side right there. It's out of your way when you're shooting. And then, I mean, you can bring it all the way up here if you really want to. It's not gonna go anywhere when you shoot. Even if you have a down angle shot, it's still out of the way of your arrow. But then at the same time, you throw this on your back, again, when you're on these long ass hikes, and you've got one less thing you have to worry about or hang on to. You throw it on the back of your backpack like this, and you can hike, carry whatever else you're carrying, or help your buddy carry his bow because he doesn't have one of these. But I literally paid $12 for the material for this, and then I went and bought magnets. I separated the magnets and taped it so it was in that little stretch, and then I just weaved it in, and it stays like it was built for that. It's pretty sweet. But that is the VXR 28-inch, and that is my setup this year. Oh, the last thing, there's a my arrow of choice with this bow shoots perfect. I mean, these are 300 spine, 10.9 GPI, 5mm weaved carbon. The Stock Archery has these. You can find it at thestockarchery.com. Put it in the link below so you can find them. But for 55 bucks for 6, you can't beat the quality. I mean, I've shot Axis. Those are good arrows. I've shot Kinetic Chaos, Kinetic Pierce. I mean, FMJ. I don't really like those because they bend after you shoot an animal, or if you shoot enough, you'll start to see wobbles in your arrows because they're aluminum. It's gonna bend. That's nature of the beast, but they're still good arrows. But again, for 55 bucks for 6 arrows, you get weaved carbon. It's gonna last you a lot longer. You're not gonna find bends after you shoot and put wear on these. The insert on this is 30 grains, so you got a good amount of front of center. I don't like to go over 50. I think it's a little overkill and unnecessary. Unless you have a longer arrow or a longer draw length, you can put a little more weight up front to make sure your arrow is flying straight at longer distances. But with I'm at a 28-inch draw, so I cut my arrows 28 inches. With that insert on the front, or outsert I should say, it puts it about 1.5 inches in front of my rest, which is the safe zone anyways, and I'm shooting perfect. Clear out to 90. I just went and shot this yesterday night and I was shooting perfectly fine, and I didn't have to change much. But these are solid arrows, especially with, there's a lot of guys that shoot these now, and they're becoming more popular, and I know why, because they're very accurate. Right where you put it, it's going there, and I think they're gonna do some damage with these. So anyway, that's my setup for 2020. Hope you liked the review. I'm no good at this, but in my personal opinion, this is a great bow choice. Super lightweight, you do not need a stabilizer, and it's a great bow. I'm gonna take my turkey with this here in the next couple months. I'm gonna have that on film, and anyway, hopefully this helps with picking a bow for 2020, or if you're deciding to upgrade. Kudos, thank you, and have a good day.